Welcome to Jumpstart University. Dominic here with another video to help you become a successful financial professional. And today we will be wrapping up this three-part series that we started about the biggest fears of aspiring financial professionals. So in just a few minutes, we are going to go after what you may have been wanting to hear this whole time, which is what designations you should be looking to add to your repertoire. But before we get into this content, if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you can always have the latest content on how you can become a successful financial professional. Also, if the YouTube algorithm just served you up my content and you don't know me, you're gonna need to do yourself a favor and go watch the other two videos in this series. They will help set the context for everything that we're gonna be talking about today, and some of this stuff I'm gonna be referencing from previous videos. So, just so you know. Nevertheless, let's get started. Now, I thought it would be interesting today to just give you a preview to something I developed a while ago when I was thinking about you. That's right, I was thinking about you 4 years ago. Okay, maybe not you per se, but I was thinking about you, the aspiring financial professional, and this decision tree you faced when it came to what designation should I pursue. I knew that this was a really big question because of all the hype, around professional designations, CFP this, CHFC, all this stuff. And to be honest, most of this doesn't mean a whole lot to clients, but I totally get it when it comes to getting started in the industry. You're like, what do I use and what am I supposed to do? People were asking me questions like, which ones mean the most to clients? Which, will help you get started the fastest? And so I created what I call a logic map, which is really nothing more than a decision tree to help you come to a conclusion about something when you're stuck. So today we're going to go through one that I created specifically to answer the question of what designations do I go after? I'm going to pull that up in a PDF and we're actually just going to walk through it together. I'm going to walk through all the questions starting like from left to right, how this thing works. And it's going to be cool. I've never done this before. I've just, I created this thing for my course, and there's really two parts of this question, or I guess it's two-part question. It's when should you and what should you? Like, when should you go after the designation, then what should you go after? Now, we're going to really cover the what part of it today because we don't have enough time to go through all of it. But if you're interested in more of this or want to see how all of this works together in context, make sure you look down in the description for a link to the course that has all this information in it. Okay, let's get started. All right, I'm back. I'm going to do my best to try to stay out of the way of this logic map and still give you some value here. So here we go. Which designation should we pursue? So the way that this works is you start out with, do you want to charge for financial services? If you don't want to charge for financial services, then your path is going to be what I call the non-traditional path, where you're going to probably be something like a financial coach or financial educator. At the time that I was doing this course, the AFC, the Accredited Financial Counselor, the CFEI, or the CFPC designations that may or may not be applicable now. There's other ones, obviously, that you may want to look at in pursuit of that non-traditional path. But the rationale here is there's no real designation to pursue there's not a requirement, let's put it that way, for a designation to be had if you're not going to give financial advice. So the AFC, CFEI, or CFPC could be some ones that you do. The rationale, again, you won't be charging for financial advice. So there's no regulator per se that's like, okay, you can't start your business or you can't have a business and talk to clients if you're going to be doing investment advice unless you have one of these type of designations. So that's kind of the logic there. Let's go down the path that many of you will probably flirt with and or travel down, which is you want to charge for financial advice. The answer is yes. Now we have a couple of other decisions to make here. In that, do we like financial planning, right? Is that the first thing that we have to say or have to answer? If you don't like financial planning and you like something like creating investment portfolios, because the answer is no, then you start to go into these other trees here. So let's talk about the do you like financial planning first. Consider the CFP or the CHFC. That's the Certified Financial Planning Certified Financial Planner designation offered by the CFP board. And then we have the CHFC, which is the Chartered Financial Counselor. Now, both of these are very similar in content. I'm not going to go through all that. Obviously, I've done plenty of videos on this channel. You just need to look for them, talking about the different types of designation. The main rationale here is if you like financial planning, these are the two designations that are going to give you the most comprehensive overview. Let's call it 10,000, 30,000 foot view on how to be a financial planner. Most comprehensive curriculum. The CFP is going to give you a comprehensive exam at the end of your study, whereas the CHFC is exams as you go, but no comprehensive exam, okay? So that's just something to consider. In either case, it's probably going to take you somewhere close to a year to complete the education for either of these. And then with the CFP, you probably got another 90 days to study for the exam. And if you pass it on the first try, that's about a 15-month window of time. That's just getting the education out the way. You'll still have the experience and stuff, but that's the scope of another video. Let's say that you don't like financial planning as much or don't really care, and you want to create investment portfolios. You really love the strategy of the investments and all that other kind of stuff like that. Well, you probably, if you're going to be client facing, it would be good to think about the CIMA or the CPWA, the Certified Investment Management Analyst or the Certified Private Wealth Advisor. So these two degrees designations are kind of conferred for people that are more client facing, probably more higher net worth, I would say, than the average person that a CFP deals with, because you start getting to a lot of stuff like trust, especially with the CPWA, how to construct trust and tax reduction strategies, things like that. The CIMA in the industry is kind of referred to as the baby CFA. Now, I don't know if that makes CFA charter holders feel some type of way or CIMA holders feel some type of way, but that's what we call it in the industry. So you might want to think about those. The CFA, if you don't want to be client facing, is going to be more for analyst positions. And so if you wanted to, say for instance, do stock analysis or bond analysis, any of that kind of stuff is really appropriate for the CFA. I would say to this day, unless you're working for an RIA that is constructing portfolios in-house and all that other kind of stuff, it's a little bit of overkill for the client-facing part of the business. So let's just say you don't like that. Do you enjoy possibly in estate protection issues? So someone that has large estates that usually need things like insurance products coupled with that, or they'll be they're really high net worth, so they may be having a estate attorney involved. The CLU, the Chartered Life Underwriter designation, is a really good thing for you to consider. It's probably one of the most reputable when we start talking about asset protection strategies. I would say a close second to that might be the CPWA, the Certified Private Wealth Advisor. But at this point in time, I created this, as you can see, back in 2020, a little bit before. Some of this stuff needs to be updated, and you might want to check with those conferring designation entities. Next, do you enjoy solving tax problems? So if you've answered the questions, no, and you're down to this one, this is kind of like one of the last things I would say in the realm of financial advice that you can really tackle as far as these big macro concepts. And if you do enjoy that, you might want to think about this whole path. If you're already a CPA, because there are some people that come into this industry, financial services, they already have a CPA. You probably want to think about the personal financial specialist, the CFP, obviously, and then the CHFC. So you can't have a PFS unless you're a CPA already. But if you're not a CPA, you do want to do that, and you want to offer tax prep, I would say the EA, enrolled agent, offers some value there, because these clients need representation in front of the IRS. So only a tax attorney, only a CPA, or only an EA can represent clients in front of the IRS. So that lets you know that you would want to, if you want to offer tax prep, the EA CPA route is probably something you want to do. And EA, obviously a little bit easier than the CPA. CPA is 4-part test, and it's a lot of studying, and it's going to be a lot of tax and accounting in there that you may not use if your practice is mostly financial planning, but you're just bolting on tax prep and tax strategy and things like that, tax planning. That is pretty much it. I don't have to go through all these little gray boxes, but you kind of see how this works in relation to what you may want to think about when it comes to going down these paths and the things that you need to consider, okay? So let me switch back and we'll close this whole thing out, okay? All right, hopefully that helps. We're finally done all three parts. I hope that helps you have a little bit more calm about what you're feeling and maybe assuage some of those fears about becoming a financial professional. Look, the road may not be the easiest, but it is entirely worth it. Let me just tell you, you get to be a partner in actually changing someone's financial future, and that is really, really special. If you want more information about any of the stuff that I talked about previous in the logic maps, in any of my courses, or if you want to work with me one-on-one as your coach, be sure to visit my website at domhendersonsr.com. Thanks for watching. Thanks for participating in this series, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.